move on to the potential shutdown. You just heard what Speaker Mike Johnson said. There is an emergency meeting tomorrow at the White House. The GOP got their $150 billion in Department of War or Defense money and ICE deportation funding in the big, beautiful bill. But the Democrats want this Affordable Care Act money. Where are you on this issue? And do you expect a government shutdown Tuesday night?
Where I'm at, where I've always been, and I will always remain on, is it is always, always wrong to shut our government down. That is a core responsibility. I'm always going to vote against those things. And if it's the Republican side or now it's our side, I'm going to condemn it as well, too, especially with the kinds of chaos that we are facing after Kirk. And now there's a Cat 5 storm that might hit our nation, too. Now, and you're willing to threaten us down. I was the only Democrat voting against that. And now that CR was the same CR from the Biden administration as well, too.
Right.
For me, I'm a big believer of if you want to change the policies, win elections. And that's really the way democracy works. And I didn't vote for the big, beautiful bill. And I do think health care, could be a solution. But I don't think shutting our government down is the wrong thing. And that's why I think it's the wrong time, certainly at this point.
Senator, it really gets me that we just had a murder of a good man, Charlie Kirk. And I thought that, when I was at the memorial last Sunday, I felt there was such kindness and hope and love in the air. I thought, well, this has to be a turning point, a pivot for both sides to come together. But you just heard Mike Johnson say that, Chuck Schumer really just wants to fight Trump. Anything that Trump says, he wants to be on the other side. So if it means shutting the government down, fine, so be it. Whatever it is that where we are? How do you see things post Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, my message after the Kirk assassination is, give people the opportunity to grieve and give them the appropriate space. I'm not going to take that time to make an argument or to advance, my own argument and all of those things. And two, now, I think his widow, what she said, that she's even now going to forgive. I mean, I thought that's one of the beautiful things that emerged from that thing. But for me, where right now, I have a hard rule. Don't shut our government down. It's wrong. I don't care what party it is for whatever reason. That's a core responsibility. And now, if you have a Cat 5 storm that's now facing our nation, why would you even have that conversation right now? And that's why I sure things work out and we don't shut our government down. But I've been consistent.
You sure have. Senator, let me ask you, look, we know that there's been real extremists who have tried to hijack the Democrat Party. And whether it's policy or the way they talk, and look, you've seen it on the right in some cases as well, all the way. But on the left, you've got such extremes. Would you consider switching parties?
No, I'm not going to switch. But I'm just going to be an independent voice in the Democratic Party. I'm not going to be afraid if people. And if there are groups attacking a Democrat. The last one in Pennsylvania, then to me, that's part of the problem, in our party. And if you want a Democrat that's going to call people Nazis or fascists or all these kinds of things, well, I'm not going to be that guy. Independent thinking and views, wherever that I happen to believe the truth, regardless if it's the Republican or the Democratic voice, what I think is the truth in this. Now, in this truth right now, it's firmly on Israel through this. And it's always wrong to shut our government down. And that's where my voice is. And if that puts me as an outlier, and that's where I am.
What do you think happens to Netanyahu if he doesn't submit to Trump and his plan?
Well, I really don't know. And like I said, it's like I really have been very grateful the way the president has continued to back Israel throughout all of this thing. So regardless, now I follow Israel through this, and I would like to remind everybody, if they were pushed into a ceasefire a year ago, and the beepers and Sinwar and eliminating all of Hezbollah and Iran now too, think of where they could be, what they've accomplished, and now it's end game, and this war does have to end, and that's why Netanyahu's been forced to do this and go into Gaza City. So that's why I'm going to follow Israel, just as I've done for now. I'm going on 2 years.
Senator, you are a breath of fresh air, and we appreciate your independence so much. I hope you'll come back soon on this program, sir. Thank you.